where would I put this? So this obviously piece, cherry doves, for the three places I would put this in. The first one, just off of kind of vibe alone, is I could definitely probably put this in like a room or something. Just like a very casual like space in the room. Like I wouldn't probably hang this. Like I can't really see it hanged. This is one of the more pieces that I would see mainly kind of just like how it is now, but just sitting there all delicately. I can see this kind of maybe on like, I can see this on like a bookshelf or like a nightstand or something where it's just nicely in the room. It's kind of giving that touch of elegant, honestly, giving that touch of demure. But honestly, that's why I can see it. I can see it in like a very kind of like calm, but like touch of elegance. Just like a touch of color maybe. Where it really brings it all together with a little bit of a pop, but it's not really meant to be like the centerpiece. It's kind of meant to be there to bring it all together. Honestly, that's how I feel. Like you would have little pieces of like greens and maybe pinks around the room and like little details, but just it kind of sitting there on a nightstand or on the bookshelf, kind of just giving that touch of beautiful and perfect to just bring it all together for the feeling. Honestly, I could really see it like that. I could also, so the second one is I could see this, honestly. Well, this is kind of like the first one, so this is kind of like a little bit more on the first instead of a second. So maybe it's like 1.2 one, 1.5. It's obviously more of a pink room. It could be very girly, because it's in a very girly room too. Very princess. I can see this in a very pink princess room. Frills, kind of like the lines, the whatever on the walls, honestly. Very elegant, very demure. I can see it very kind of like princessy. So I can see it in kind of that room. So that's kind of like a added on to what I already said. So the second place I could see this is, honestly, I could see this in a kitchen. So the reason why didn't say like, well, I could see this also in other place, but the reason I didn't say dining room first and first kitchen is because it's food related. So all the food related ones automatically get kitchen vote for me because it's food related. This one's cherries, so you know, it just fits. We can see obviously a kitchen. It's a much more elegant kitchen though, probably like chef does things kitchen. Just nice showroom kitchen, honestly. But very elegantly. That might be actually one of the times I would hang it, just because I don't want to be like on the counter and stuff. I would want nicely, maybe like a few inches above, but I could definitely see it in a kitchen, just very nice, very demure, kind of like showroom type kitchen, very gorgeous. And of course, I could see it obviously in a dining room, which would probably be the last one. So number 3 is dining room, and the dining room obviously because it's more of a formal space. So the dining rooms are usually more formal. That's where you kind of have your families, you have meetings, you have everything else. This would probably be in more of the public one. If you have 2 different dining rooms, this would be the fancier dining room most likely. Because it obviously gives kind of in between vibe of food, but also elegant. With the cherries and the doves and everything pink kind of being like the more food related, kind of more of the friendly and outgoing colors and feelings, but then you have more of the chandelier happening here, the French design, which is much more elegant obviously and much more fancy, and kind of like put together. So you can see this in like a dining room and such, where it's kind of just off to the side. It might not be like the centerpiece of the room, though I'm sure some people could put it as a centerpiece of the room, but this is more of like one of those pieces that you would put in one of those like nice, what are they? They're like these nice like drawer things where it's kind of like off to the side. They're like glass, whatever. But I see it kind of like in one of those where it's very like demure, off to the side, just nicely there, giving that obviously fancy touch. This is really a piece that's kind of like, it's not the whole room, it feels like. Like maybe for you guys, you could come up with like a way to make it kind of like the centerpiece. For me, I can really see this as a piece that's more of like, it is the piece, it's a little cherry on top. It's the cherry on top, they say. And it's just that piece that kind of puts it all together. Honestly, it's a cherry on top. Just wow, perfect. That's where I can see it. Of course, do tell me, obviously, where you guys would put this, because I am super curious, honestly, because obviously mine, it kind of all fits in that generic theme of, it's not the centerpiece, kind of like sub-piece, cherry on top, perfect. But always curious, obviously, on where you guys see where these pieces can go. But that is birds with cherries, also known as cherry doves. Now for anyone that is curious, of course, just join in, let me give you a recap. Those cherries here is a piece that was probably painted around, I would like to say, 2022. So this is actually one of the older pieces in our collection. This one actually was a part of a coloring book that our artist originally was making to get better at line work. And this was, I believe, a part of the French one. So she made about 4 coloring books at the time, and she made a French one, which this was one of the designs that she actually chose from that coloring book to physically paint, which is called Doves with Cherries, also known as cherry birds or cherry doves. Very gorgeous, and it just has kind of this French design. She was really just inspired off of France, and kind of like their lighting, where they have animals or ladies on both sides, and then they have this intricate design of like swirls and things. It's just very gorgeous, honestly. It's a very unique style for her, where it's double-sided with the animals. Very gorgeous though, I do love it, and this is actually one of the older pieces that, if you ask me, Delphine, what's your favorite like older piece, like post 2024? What's your favorite one? This would be it, honestly. I would probably say cherry birds or cherry doves, and it's literally, I just enjoy it. It's underrated, honestly. But very gorgeous and everything else. If you have questions, feel free to ask now, and everything else.